Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you why is it so important to replace your hardware kit every time you replace your brake pads. So this comes with your brake pads. Sometimes it don't come with it. You can clean it, but I have seen brake pads. This is an example right here. You see one brake pad is not worn as much as this one. So this is an uneven wear right here. Sometimes it'll be worn out more here and less here. That's because one side is jammed, the other side is free to move, okay? So it's very important to change your hardware kit. And today we're gonna replace this brake pads on this Honda Accord. This is a 2015 Honda Accord. These are the rear brake pads. Once I have the caliper removed, I'm gonna show you exactly how to lubricate, clean, and put in a new hardware kit. To begin with, I'm gonna remove the bolts for the caliper. But this job is not how to do brake pad. It's about doing it right by replacing the hardware kit. So if you buy good brake pads, you're gonna get a hardware kit with it, and you're gonna replace it. It's very simple. You should do it every time. Sometimes I do make a judgment. The hardware kit look good, and the new one is not as good because depending on the quality of the brake pad customer got me, and that's when I clean and reuse the hardware kit, but do lubricate it. Anyways, got both of the bolts out, and you should be able to manage to get this caliper. If you can, there's another bolt, but we're gonna probably take that one out too. But let's see. Okay, there's another one back over here. I'm gonna take that one off. All right, there's an e-brake cable going across, and that's connected over here, and there's no clearance for this caliper to move out. So I'm taking off the number 12 that's connected to this brake line in the back. That's the one. And now we should be able to pop open this caliper. There you go, and you can let your caliper sit right over here. So the next step is you take off this pin here, this pin over here. You see these brake pads pretty good, they're free. That's how they should be. If your brake pads are jammed up, it's due to the hardware that they're rusted, not cleaned. But this is really good, and these brake pads are worn out pretty good evenly. You see both of them are worn out evenly. There's the same amount of meat left. It was almost done. Compared to the one I showed you earlier. Look at the meat on this brake pad and look at that one. Look at the difference. This one is pretty much gone because this was jammed up in there. All right, next step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop open this hardware. All right, so to take this off, if you're replacing the disc, that's even better because you're gonna have the whole bracket out. But at this point, this crusted ass hardware comes right off. And then if you have a wire brush, just clean all this off. Very simple. If the bracket is off, you could use the file, that's even better. And now I'm gonna get some brake cleaner and I'm gonna spray some brake cleaner. But this is a soft wire brush, and you can also clean out the brake caliper here, the boot for the caliper, because there's a lot of dust on it. And let's let that sit right there. All right, my friends, cha-chang, brake cleaner, spray some of that. Even if you don't have a cleaner, you should get one. This is like a $3 bottle. That's done. There's my old brake pads falling down. It's all right. We're gonna compress the piston next. Compress the piston. What I like to do is use a little bit of a W40 on my finger. And what I like to do is I like to go around this boot right here. That gives it a nice and smooth surface when it goes back into the housing. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna compress the piston of this caliper here. So there is a special tool for this. I'm gonna grab the tool, and it comes with a whole bunch of adapters, so match one up. This is perfect. And then we have this little guy right here. And let's align this guy. Oh yeah, it's gonna be one of the best brake jobs you ever do in your life. Do it right, do it properly, take your time, and make a long video like me. Post it, and let me see what you guys did. Alright, this is the way to compress this piston. So, we're gonna put a 14mm in the back right here, and I'm gonna turn it. Make sure you don't hit the line anywhere. You don't want to damage that brake line. And this guy should twist on. A lot of time your boot will twist on this, but since I lubricated a little bit, it's gonna go back to its original spot just by a small little force. And if your piston feels really hard to get in there, bad caliper, then you must replace the caliper. That will also kill your brake pads. Okay, I'm seeing something funny going on with the boot. I'm gonna stop there and fix that. To fix that, you're gonna just push the boot back and it should just come out of there. This is a dust boot. And that looks good, a little bit more. And that should be fair enough because I already got the piston as far as possible. Plus, you gotta have it straight, and you can even turn it with the pry bar. This is too small. Let me get my tool back. We just turn it a little bit more. And refix that boot. That looks good. So I'm gonna fix that boot up, but let's continue. And let me just fix up this boot right now. Try not to poke it. Okay, there you go. Let's let this caliper sit right there. Next step, we're gonna put a little bit of greasing on the pins. So pop open your pins. This one has a rubber seal right there, so make sure that goes on the top. And I'm gonna go get a small rag. So pop this open, clean it. We're gonna grease this up. I'm gonna show you the grease I'm gonna be using, but let me clean up the other pin also. And I am using this silicone grease over here. It's the part number right there. And this is what it looked like. Put the bottle away. And put some greasing here. You don't want to put too much. Just enough coating all around the pin so it can move around freely. Also, I'd like not to put any grease on the tip because that works like it won't let the piston compress all the way. The sliding pin to compress all the way. And you take your pin. Remember, the one with the seal is on top. Same place I took it off from. And there you go. Usually I would say that one goes in the bottom, but I'm gonna leave it just the way it came because in the bottom it has to open up and everything could slip through. But maybe there's a reason why that one is there. But that's done. I'm gonna go get another set of grease and we're gonna grease a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Alright, so next set of grease right here, part number 05353. You're gonna take a little bit of grease, put it right there. Little bit right there. Try not to get any grease on the disc. And you're done. Next step, we're gonna take the hardware kit and make sure you put this on flush, nice and flush. Make sure it does not hit the disc. And we're gonna do the same thing for the top. Then what I like to do is I like to stick my screwdriver right over here that crunches it perfectly evenly. You could even tap it. Tap, 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 tap. Alright, this is stainless steel here, so it's not going to rust and corrode. And I do not put any grease up on the top here because that picks up a lot of dirt. Next step, we're going to put the brake pads back in. And you're going to put one of the brake pads with the brake wear indicator sensor right there. If you have a good brake pads, they should slip right in. If your brake pads, you're forcing them in, you're hammering them in, that's going to be no good. You might want to file a little bit here and a little bit there, but if you buy a good set of brake pads, they should go in with a touch of a finger, and you should be able to move them around just like that freely. This one popped out completely. Anyways, that's done. Remember, This little guy was down here. You're gonna put that back in, and your caliper comes on, and magic, you're all done. Do not forget to put the bolts in. Do not forget to tighten the bolts. That's how you're gonna get these brake pads to work really good and wear out evenly. So if you're having problems with uneven wear and tear on the brake pads, that's most likely is your issue. Your sliding pins probably are jammed up, or your hardware kit is jammed up, your brake pads are jammed up, or your caliper. Anyways, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And don't forget to send me a message if you have any questions.